Says I'm live. We shall see. So if y'all are not following me or subscribed on my YT, let's see. I hope I'm can somebody check and tell me if they can see this live over here on my YouTube? Because I think I did unpublish, but I'm not sure. This is like such a huge thing. I just need to know. Bella, can you go check and see if you can see that I'm live? Like I can upload like all of my Google Slides, all of the pictures, everything, and I can put myself in a teeny tiny little box and show you guys all the things that I'm talking about on the screen, which is really nice. Let's see. You cannot see the live. Okay. Let me do something different. Let's see. Okay, it's unlisted. I got to change it from unlisted. Okay, hang on. Let me do that. I was worried that it was still unlisted. Okay, I think you can see it now. You should be able to see it now. There's not any new information. I wish there was. I'm kind of surprised that there's not. I've just been going back through every single thing in the case, and there's a lot of interesting things that I did not know. And so I just kind of wanted to come do like a whole, like I found all these photos, just like tons. Thank you, Laurie. Okay, awesome. So I'm really going to be doing this on my YT. I don't know. I'm not sure. There have been a lot of things discussed. It's been discussed that I'm going to look this way. So if y'all have questions or comments, y'all come to my YouTube because I can show y'all pictures over here, and it's nice. There's been a lot of things discussed. One was that she was upset that she lost the basketball game. It's been discussed that like maybe things were not so good in the home, but all of those things have kind of been proven to be wrong. I don't know. That's a very good question, and I don't know that it's something that we'll ever have an answer to. I thought maybe she'd been invited to spend the night somewhere and her parents had told her she couldn't. But then I think the parents would remember her asking that, So I'm not sure. So y'all jump over to my YT because I'm about to start this live over there because I have a lot of pictures I want to share with you guys. And I'm just going to kind of go back through everything. For anybody who doesn't know, there's a ton of information in this case. I've been taking notes literally all day long and all night. That's why I'm like an hour late going live. Updates on Miss Belvedere really quickly. So Chaos Divers did come to Arkansas. They dove somewhere today. I can't remember where. They did find a car, and they sent a diver down, but it ended up being like a red car. So it wasn't her. That's really the only update that I have. Nothing other than that. Yep, Becky. I think it should be in my profile, but it's at true_crime_mama. But it should be, we're going to talk about Asha Degree. Yes. It should be in my profile, linked up in my profile. I just think it's better over here because I can show you all these pictures. But anyway, I'll go ahead and get started. So, and y'all probably know a lot more about this than I do. I did not know all of these things, but of course, Asha, so the family unit was the mom, the dad, and they got married actually on February the 14th of 1988, which is crazy because that's the day she ended up going missing 12 years later. And then so it was Harold and Aquila Degree, and then they had Asha's brother O'Brien, who was around a year older than Asha, and then Asha. So at the time Asha disappeared, of course, she was 9 years old and O'Brien was 10 years old. Let me click to this next slide. Okay, so this is where they lived, and I was very curious about this. You guys may have already seen this, but this looks like a single family home, but it's actually like a duplex. So they lived in that half that's in the red box that you see there. And it only had 2 bedrooms. So Asha and her brother shared one of the bedrooms. So she was I think 4th grader. I believe she was in the 4th grade. Yep. So she was all right, hang on. Let me back up to this slide right here. So you guys can see Highway 18 right here, which is actually where she went missing from. Can y'all hear me okay on YouTube? Let me know. Thank you, Becky. I'm glad you found me. Let me put these headphones on so I can hear myself. I don't like all this fancy stuff. Like, it's really hard for me not to be live on TikTok. Hey, Kara, y'all come to my YouTube. Hey, Jalen. I hate all this fancy stuff. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay, awesome. Good. Okay. All right, so you see Highway 18 right here, and then this is where Asha's house is. And on this little street, in this little subdivision where they lived, I think it said there were like about 18 other houses there. And several of her family members, like her grandmother, lived on the same road. And like maybe aunts, uncles, cousins also were basically neighbors with Asha and her family. And then again, there's Highway 18. So that's where she disappeared from, but not right near her house. I'll show you guys that in just a minute. So Asha was a 4th grader at Falston Elementary. I didn't actually look for a better picture of the school. This is just one that I found. And if y'all are curious, a lot of this information came from a website called, hang on just a second. I think it's oddstops.com. Yeah. They had all these pictures. So the website that I got most of these pictures from is oddstops.com. If y'all want to go there, you can, and look at it yourself. It's very interesting. So the day that she went missing was actually on a Monday morning. It was very early in the morning. That Friday prior to her disappearance, they did not have school that day. I've got to look at the camera. I'm so not used to this. They did not have school that day at Asha's school. It was a teacher work day. So Asha's parents, both of them worked. Her mom worked first shift at one place and her dad worked second shift at another place. So there was a little bit of overlap, like right after school time, that neither parent was at home. So Asha and her brother both had keys to the home. They rode the bus, so when they got home, they could let themselves in. There was family on the street. This was back in 2000. So on this Friday, since they did not have school that day, they actually spent the day with their Aunt Keisha, who lived just down the street. So she lived also in that little neighborhood. All right. And then nothing really happens that day, just kind of a normal day. They just didn't have school. And then that Saturday, February the 12th, is when the basketball game took place. And Asha had a game. She was the star point guard, I believe, on her team. And then her brother also had a basketball game that same day. And that was at Burns Middle School, which I didn't look to see exactly where that was, and I should have, but it's a ton of information. So Asha's team was a really good team. They thought that they were going to win the game by everything that I've read, and they didn't. So she fouled out of the game pretty late in the game. She was upset. She was crying that she lost or that they lost. But it's reported that a lot of the other team members were upset as well. Like, she was not the only one who was upset and crying over this loss. It's reported that she recovered quickly from that, and then she watched her brother's game. After that, then Asha went to a sleepover that was at her cousin's house. Now, it's reported that her cousin was 15 years old, which is, I don't know, it's kind of weird. A 9-year-old at a 15-year-old sleepover, but maybe it was just all family. Maybe it was just like a cousin thing. So it was about a dozen of them, and they stayed up late, watching TV, dancing, just having a good time. Y'all let me know if y'all have questions or if I'm going too fast. I'm just trying to get through some of this like really early stuff. So let me see. What's the next slide? Of course, there's not a whole lot. Okay. All right. So on that Sunday morning, so the sleepover was Saturday, the basketball games were Saturday, the sleepover was Saturday. On that Sunday morning, Asha's parents and her brother, they go pick her up from the aunt's house and they go to church. After church, they have a thank you. After church, they have a family get together, and it was because it was Valentine's Day the next day. It's reported that the grandmother gave them like some gifts. I think Asha got some perfume and some Valentine candy. He's going crazy over here on TikTok. I know, isn't it nice, Allison? I love it. That's why I'm so intimidated by YouTube, but I think like there's so much more benefit to it because y'all don't want to just see me. Like, y'all want to see what I'm talking about. So if y'all are not like, I'm on my YouTube, so I have a whole little slideshow with lots of pictures and everything of what I'm talking about. So my YouTube is linked up in my profile. I know I'm probably not supposed to be redirecting, but it's better for this. Okay, so they go to church, they go to their little family get together, kind of celebrate Valentine's Day, and then they go home. And it's reported that around 6:30 that night that Asha actually fell asleep. Of course, I'm sure girls at a sleepover, I'm sure she'd been up. Can y'all hear me? Tell me if y'all cannot. I'm sure they had been up probably most of the night. So about 6:30, she falls asleep. And then around 8 o'clock that night is when that bad weather comes through. It's a thunderstorm. They said there was a lot of thunder, a lot of lightning. I think there was a lot of wind associated with it. And that woke Asha up. And so at that point, she reportedly went into the living room with her family. They were all just kind of hanging out and watching TV. And sometime before 9 p.m., so within the hour, is when the wreck occurs and that person hits that utility pole, which knocks the power out. And it's reported that the power came back on just after midnight. So around 12:30 in the morning is when the power came back on. But Asha and her brother, at some point between, I guess, the power going out and the power coming back on, Asha and her brother went to bed. Her dad stayed up. I believe her mom was already in the bed, but her dad stayed up, which, like I said, he worked second shift. So he was probably just, his body was in that routine of being up those hours. So he was awake. Some reports say that he actually ran to the store around 10:30 or 11 to make a purchase, but then I don't think the parents have ever mentioned that. So I'm not sure if that happened or not. And even if it did, I don't think it's necessarily relevant to the story. So their dad, Harold, he looks in the bedroom, sees both children asleep. I think he goes back to the living room, watches more TV. I think maybe he fell asleep on the couch. And then around 2:30 that morning, he turned the TV off and was headed to bed and looked back in the bedroom one more time. And he sees both children asleep in their beds, or what he thinks is asleep in their beds. So at some point after 2:30 that morning, Asha's brother O'Brien reports that he heard her bed creaking, and he thought that she was just rolling over. So he didn't think anything of it. Now, some reports say that he thought she got up and went to the bathroom, and then she came back. But he didn't really see anything. He was just hearing the bed creaking from what I've understood. So it's possible that around that time is when she left the home. Most likely that's when she got up out of bed and left the home. So on that Monday morning, mom wakes up, and around 6:30 is when she realizes that Asha is missing. And so she starts to call family members, just to see, since they lived on the road, like, hey, is Asha at your house for some reason? And of course, nobody knew where she was. And so at 6:38, dad actually calls 911. And I have that transcript somewhere. Let me see if I can find that transcript. I thought I had everything in order how I wanted it, but I guess I didn't. I guess I don't. Where is that 911 transcript? Maybe it didn't load. I added a lot more pictures and maybe it didn't load. I'm thinking it didn't load. Okay, hang on just a second. Let me try. To see if I can add it and it'll come up. All right, guys, hang on just a second. I'm going to remove this and then I'll add it back. Let's see, remove. Because I added a good many more slides. Okay, let's see. Continue. I agree. I agree, Morgan. It is very strange that she would have left to begin with, especially with, 9 years old. They said she was kind of afraid of the dark, the thunderstorms. She didn't like thunderstorms. And then she didn't like dogs. She was afraid of dogs. Whoops, my papers just fell off. So I agree. It's very strange. Some people say maybe she was groomed. Obviously that is a potential, but the family reports that they didn't have a computer in the home. They didn't have internet. It doesn't make any sense. I know. I agree. Okay, let me see if I can find that slide. I wanted to. Okay, so obviously that's her mom and dad. Okay, and here's the transcripts of the call. I'm going to put this like this so maybe y'all can see. And I haven't actually read it. So it looks like it's just a basic, he's just reporting that she's missing. He gives the address, gives his name, phone number, gives her name, spells it out. And her book bag's missing and her pocketbook. Crying continues in the background, so you don't know if she got dressed or if she still got on her bedclothes or what. He said, we don't know. Basically that's it. And so then they send an officer to the house. So that call is made at 6:38 a.m. The first officer is on the scene 2 minutes later at 6:40 a.m. So super quick. All doors and windows were locked. There were no signs of forced entry. So it sounds like she locked the door when she left out. They never could determine which door she left out. Let's see. Let me go back and look at that house. It probably had, I guess, that door under the carport there, and then the front door. I don't know if there's a back door or not. I tried to look it up on Google Earth, but you couldn't really see that much on Google Earth. All right. So typically, Aisha and her brother, like I said, they rode the school bus, and let me go back to this view. And so the school bus would pick them up on Highway 18. So they probably just walked kind of to like this area right here, and that's where the school bus would pick them up. And like I said before, they each had a key to the house because when they would get home, mom had not made it home from work yet, and dad had already left for work. So they had a key. They both had a key. Now, at 6:42, so 4 minutes after the call, the sheriff arrives and he calls for K-9 units to the home, and they begin this huge search very quickly. They searched, I think, like a 3-mile wide area. Um, Also, the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation arrived that afternoon at 2 o'clock. So they very quickly called in everyone really that they should have. It was taped off for a crime scene. And then a neighbor actually reports that she saw Aisha walking outside that night. Now, we don't know who that was. We don't know if it was a family member or if it was just someone else who lived on the street. Um, I would assume it would not be a family member because I think if a family member saw her out that early in the morning, they would have probably engaged with her. And it doesn't sound like that happened, but no, stranger things have happened. Let's see. So her dad actually gave an interview, a telephone interview with the Charlotte Observer, and one of the things that he said was that she'd never left home before, she'd never ran away before. That's not any kind of an issue that they'd ever had with her in the past. All right, so they call in the canines and they don't pick up her scent, not even near the home. And from what I've read and what I've learned, and I could be wrong about this, but this is just what the sources that I've looked into say, is that rain can actually help the dogs pick up the scent, but the wind can interfere and mess that up. And so they said that possibly the wind from the thunderstorm that came through could have affected the dog's ability to pick up her scent, but that's kind of strange. All right, so what we end up finding out is that two separate truck drivers, end up seeing her walking along the highway in between 3:30 a.m. and 4:15 a.m. So from that, they estimated that she left home around 3 in the morning. Now, the first truck driver, let me pull this next slide up. Okay, so you see right up here, Oakcrest Drive, that's her home. And the first truck driver said that he saw her kind of in this area because what they did was, I believe the first truck driver thought that. I know that's crazy. It's crazy. So the first truck driver was, what was his name? I think his name was Roy Blanton Sr. His son was actually in the truck with him. And I think the next picture that I'm going to show you is actually labeled wrong. And I need to double check that. But either way, it doesn't really matter. So Roy Blanton Sr. was one of the truck drivers. His son was in the vehicle with him. So they both saw her. And they thought that it was a woman. And the other witness to see her was another truck driver by the name of Jeff Rupp. And he's the one that recognized that it was a young girl, and he's the one that actually I think he turned around and tried to engage with her. And that's when he reported that she ran off into the woods. Now, let me show you. All right, I'm going to go to the next slide. Okay, this just shows from her subdivision that comes out onto Highway 18. And so she would have had to have walked out and taken a right to go back south. And this is the area where, all right, so after the truck drivers, I think one's wife told him about it. So Roy's wife actually told him about Asha missing later on, and he called law enforcement to let them know that he had seen somebody. He thought it was her. And then somehow Jeff found out about it. I can't remember how he found out, but he also called law enforcement, and law enforcement got them back down to that area so that they could show law enforcement where it was that they had seen her on the road. And so they were back down to that area within 36 to 48 hours to show law enforcement where they thought it was that they had seen her on the road. So this is the area that Jeff says that he thinks he saw her, and where she ran off into the woods. Now, there's not woods there now really, but I mean, I guess kind of up here there are, but I'll show you the shed in just a minute. So let me show you guys one other thing. Hang on. I'm going to come back to the shed. Okay. So this is where Jeff saw her. And then down here near the intersection where 180 comes into Highway 18, this is where Roy saw her. So I think Jeff must have seen her first, obviously. And the second sighting was Roy down here at this intersection. But Roy thought it was a woman. Now, all right, let's see. Okay, so on February the 15th, the day following her disappearance, they didn't have any leads. They said everyone was a suspect. And then that's when they were kind of getting everybody in sheds, looking any properties that they had outside their home to see if she might be hiding somewhere, if she was scared, or if there were any clues anywhere. And that's when the people that live here, the Turners, their names are, let's see. Their names are, I don't guess it really matters, but I know I wrote it down somewhere. I think Carolyn and something. Does anybody know? I've got it in my notes somewhere, but I don't see it right off the bat. But anyway, the Turners, they live here, and they have what has been called a shed. Now, I don't think I would really call this a shed. I think I would, hey, Donna, I think I would more so call it like a barn. I'm going to show you guys some pictures of it. But look how far it is off the road. They said it's 300 to 600 yards off the road. That's a long way. That's 1 to 2 football fields. That's a very long way. But you can kind of see it down here in this picture. And to me, I would call it a barn. Because if I think of a shed, I think of like a little tiny thing, like, big enough for like a lawnmower and your yard equipment. But there's another picture of it off the highway. Like it's a good piece off the highway. There's another one. I think so too, Emily. It's all right. So here's an up close photo of it. And you can see like it's a pretty big size structure. And so the Turners, I wish I could find their names. That's going to drive me crazy, y'all. I get hung up on these like little details that probably don't matter. But anyways, the Turners, they go out and they're looking on their property, and that's when they find some items in this shed. And I'll show you in just a minute exactly where they found them. But they found a photo of another young black girl, and I'll show you that in a minute. They found a pencil, a 1996 Atlanta Olympics pencil. And what most people have said is like a Mickey Mouse barrette, but then others have just described it as like a bear barrette, but some sort of just little barrette, and then a green marker. And I believe that's kind of all that they found. But they initially only told law enforcement about the picture. They didn't tell law enforcement about the pencil or the barrette or the marker, only the photo. But they did keep the other items. They just didn't tell law enforcement about them at first. So, all right, so here's some more photos, and you can see down here the woman's pointing right where she found those items. Now, the other thing I haven't said about the Turners is that she would reupholster furniture. And I noticed a lot of comments like on Reddit saying that these are items that would fall in between couch cushions, and it's possible that when they brought in a couch to reupholster, that those items just fell out of a couch. But Aisha's family says that besides the photo, because nobody still to this day knows who the photo was of, that those were items that Aisha had. So, yeah, I don't know about all that, but anyway. But this is definitely like a barn full of a bunch of junk. But I do think it's interesting where she found the things, almost like a child would have crouched down there, like scared. But then I also wonder, like, how did those things fall out of her backpack? Maybe she reached in to grab something else and the things fell out. I don't know. It's just all kind of weird. I think so too, Denise. I think it definitely looks much more like a barn. But there's another photo of where she is pointing where she found the things. Okay, so let me go to the picture of the girl. And I'll come back to all this too. Why did I not put that? Y'all, what? Where is that photo of the girl? Oops. I know it's in here. It better be. Maybe it's not. Did I miss it? I must have missed it, y'all. All right, I'll pull it up though. Give me just a second. Let me get my photos up. And I'll just share my screen over here. I can't believe I left that photo out. It's like one of the most important photos. And I have a mouse coming tomorrow. Okay, hang on. Okay. Okay, let me open this up and I'm going to move this over to this other screen. Okay. Okay, guys, I got to figure out how to. North Carolina, Denise. This happened in Shelby, North Carolina, which the population of Shelby now I think is like 22,000. I don't know, Becky. Let me see if I can figure out how to share my screen. I can't believe I didn't put that. All right, hang on. Let me just add it. I could have sworn I did, but I did. Clearly I didn't. Okay, hang on just a second. I'm going to add it to the slides. Okay. I delete that. Okay. All right, now I'm going to have to remove this again, and I'll have to add it back. Thank y'all for bearing with me. This is kind of terrible. I mean, I do like it, but it's kind of terrible. Oh, there's how I can share my screen. Google Slides. Hey guys, if you're over here, I'm on YouTube live, so y'all need to come follow me over here, and then you can see the pictures that I'm showing. It's kind of better. Oh, Emily, thank you. Oh, this is so hard. Okay, let me find the photo of the girl. Okay, there's the photo of the girl. All right, so this is the only thing out of those items that I listed that the Turners found in their shed. These are the only thing. This is the only thing initially that they gave to law enforcement was the photo of this girl. And I kind of got out of order, but I'll go back to her backpack in just a minute. Let me just go ahead and talk about this girl. So they end up. All right. When the truck drivers came back and pointed out the locations where they had seen her, they ended up finding some candy wrappers on the side of the road. And through their investigation, it is, isn't it? I know. Is the stream okay here, y'all, on YouTube? Or am I freezing up over here too? Like, I don't know what else to do about my internet. I got Starlink. Yesterday I went and bought all of the extenders and everything to make sure that I have like plenty of. Okay, good. I guess it's just TikTok. Y'all come over to my YT. If it's linked in my profile here, but you can see pictures over here on my YT. It's better over here. I promise. Okay, awesome. I'm so glad because I worked the whole dang weekend on this stuff. All right, so they found these candy wrappers on the side of the road, and through their investigation, they found out that that was some kind of candy that the school had given out to the kids. And so at that point, they decided to go back to the Turners. And that's when the Turners gave them the rest of the items. So it's not like they kept them for a long period of time. It was just probably like a day or two. And so then the Turners give them this barrette, this green marker, and then this pencil. And I'll show you guys what the pencil looks like. Let's see. I'm going to hire somebody to start making these Google Slides for me. Okay. So this white pencil up here, the Atlanta 1996 Olympic, that is allegedly what the pencil was. And her parents confirmed that she did have a pencil like that. I think they had maybe a family reunion or something in Atlanta that summer. And I know, Emily, I appreciate you, but oh my goodness gracious, it's a lot. It's a whole lot to organize this. It's good and it's better, but it's just very time consuming. So on February the 20th, and I got to get a better chair to sit in. On February the 20th is when they actually stopped the ground search for Asha, because they just didn't really have any leads. Or if they did have information, they did not share that information with the public. And we'll talk about that in a little bit when we talk about the green car. But we're not going to find out about the green car for 15 years. So if they knew about it then, they certainly did not release that to the public. So on February the 20th, 6 days after she went missing, they stopped the ground search. And then on February the 21st, the very next day, they decide that they are going to do a roadblock right out there on Highway 18. Okay, y'all are saying no freezing. I thought y'all were saying it was freezing. Right out there on Highway 18, they have a roadblock for 4 hours, and they do it during the hours that she went missing, because their thought process was, if there are people who like don't live in this area, but they travel through here at that time of day, like going to work, coming home from work, or whatever, we might can catch some people that we would otherwise miss. And so they have the roadblock on the 21st, and on the 24th, so 10 days after she disappears, the Charlotte Observer puts this picture of this little girl in the paper on a Thursday on a page 75 of 108 pages. So they said it was at the bottom, which, I mean, you can see it's not very big. So they put it at the bottom of page 75 out of 108 pages on a Thursday. And I think that's the only time it was ever in the paper. So this child was never identified at all. And that was in 2000. So that was February 24th of 2000. That goes in the paper. All right. And then on March the 14th, the parents go on to the Montel Williams show. Facebook up there. Let's see. And let me get back on track with my pictures, guys. This right here is just the intersection where 180 comes into 18. And that's kind of like where that second sighting was. Have you guys seen these pictures before? Y'all go follow me on my YT. You don't know how to chat. Tammy, because I'm showing it over on my YouTube, so you'll have to come follow me over there to see the pictures. It's linked in my profile here on TikTok. So if you'll get out of my live and you just go to my page up in my profile, there's a direct link to my YouTube. Well, I think it is. It may be in my link tree. But on YouTube is where you can see the pictures. I had not seen them either, and I was searching last night. I was searching for pictures. Okay, thanks, Blair. There's a direct link, Tammy. So I do just click it. As far as how to chat over on YouTube, doesn't it just show? Isn't there just a box? Hang on just a minute. I'll look. Let me look right here on my iPad, and I'll show you. Whoever asked, I don't remember who asked that. Y'all bear with me just a second. I'm gonna get used to looking at this camera, but it's gonna take me a little bit of time. There's a live chat box. Okay. You have to have an account. Okay. So, Kissy, do you have a YouTube account? Like a login? It doesn't cost you any money. It doesn't cost you any money. You just have to sign up for a YouTube account. Hey, Jamie Chapman. See, Kissy, when you go to YouTube, see if you can log in. Because you'll have to I guess you'll have to log in. But the chat, they're saying the chat comes up automatically if you're logged in. And it is worth it. It's totally free. It doesn't cost you any money at all, but it is worth it. Let's see, I'll show you. Let's see, I'll show you. Whoop, let me turn this down. So when you get into here, Kissy, right over here is where you chat. gonna have to have a bigger desk. Okay, good. I'm glad you can see me and hear me good. If you were on your phone, it's under the video. Thank you, Blair. I need to get my other phone out and charge it up so I can show people that too. Okay. All right. Thank y'all for helping me. Okay. So on March the 22nd, so like 5 weeks after she disappeared, that is when they put up this billboard. Let me click back through here. This billboard right here. And it's like, it's still there now, I believe. Which is along Highway 18. And that's a closer picture of it. So that's been up there since March of 2000, since she went missing, like since a month after she went missing. So the sheriff's department, they are trying to rule out people. They are looking into sex offenders who live in the area. An FBI profiler does a psych profile of the individual, but that has never been released. So we don't know what that shows. The parents, Harold and Aquila, they were cleared within weeks of her disappearing. So then nothing happened. Nothing happened. A year came and went. And then on August the 3rd of 2001, so a year and a half later, a man named Terry Fleming, who owned Precision Grading, was working on a construction project, and he finds her book bag. And her book bag is found right up here, you see in this top yellow circle, which was almost 27 miles from where she was last seen. Now, let me back up, because what I did not say, and I skipped this, but when her parents noticed that she was missing, they noticed that her book bag was missing. And some of the things that they saw that were also missing was 2 different outfits, her basketball uniform, a Tweety Bird purse, and I think that's the only thing that the parents identified. There's been a lot of discussion about this book bag and why did she pack it, which is the same question as why did she leave that night? But also there's been a lot of question as to when did she pack the book bag? And there's been some speculation that maybe the book bag was packed for the sleepover. You know, maybe those are items that she took for that sleepover and it was already packed and she just grabbed it when she left. I don't know. It's all just super strange. And I really don't think we'll ever know why she left. But anyway, so in my notes, that's what I had that the parents reported that was missing was the 2 outfits, the basketball uniform, and the Tweety Bird purse. So now let's go back to August the 3rd of 2001 when Terry Fleming is doing this grading project and uncovers this book bag that was in 2 black plastic garbage bags. And it was buried. So they said that it was about 50 yards off the highway. And it was wrapped, like I said, in 2 black plastic garbage bags. And as you can see, like 27 miles from where she was last seen. Now, apparently, we know about the book and we know about the New Kids on the Block t-shirt or t-shirt nightgown, but those 2 items were not released as being found in her book bag until like a long time later. But it's reported that other items that were in her book bag were the Tweety Bird purse, jeans with a red stripe. So, like, those are unique things, you know? Black sneakers, a long sleeve white t-shirt with purple letters, a red vest with black trim, and black Tweety Bird overalls, as well as a long sleeve black and white shirt. Now, we also know now that the book, the Dr. Seuss book, and the New Kids on the Block t-shirt nightgown were also in the book bag. But he knew that it was hers because it had her name and her phone number, and they said possibly even her address on the book bag. So that's how he was able to identify that it was hers. Law enforcement has said that they think that the book bag was actually thrown from a vehicle, and that due to the construction in the area and just like dirt work being done and being moved around, that it got buried over time. But I'm a little confused by that, because if it's 50 yards off, I know it's 50 yards off the highway, and maybe there's a road closer to where it was found. If so, it didn't say that, and I did not go digging into like exactly where it was found. But law enforcement has said that they thought that it was thrown from a vehicle and that it was not initially buried, but that it got buried over time. So, also, there was a pair of khaki pants that was found nearby, but they don't believe that those are any connection, because those were not like put in a garbage bag or concealed in anything. They were just out there. And so at the point that they found the black garbage bag, the backpack, that's when they really began to suspect foul play. All right. So then literally nothing happens for years and years. They did say after the book bag was found that they did believe that the perpetrator lived in the area where the book bag was found. So that brings us to February of 2015, 15 years later. And the FBI and the, is it Cleveland County, y'all? Hey guys, y'all come to my YouTube. It's Cleveland County, right? Yeah. Okay, so the FBI and Cleveland County Sheriff's Office, they announced that they are re-examining the case, and oddly, very oddly, so that happens in February of 2015. On May the 31st of 2015, the sheriff, what's going on here? The sheriff, is his name Dan Crawford? He dies from a self-inflicted GSW, which I thought was very interesting. There's been a lot of speculation and rumor that he was could have possibly been friends with the individual who was responsible, and that he covered some things up, which it's quite possible, because the green car information, as well as the information about the Dr. Seuss book, nor the New Kids on the Block nightgown t-shirt, had been released at that point. Now, we do not know at what point they learned about the green car. So it's possible that they didn't learn about it until after, but I find it very hard to believe that somebody all this time later is going to come forward and be like, oh yeah, I saw her getting pulled into a green car. I think they had that information early on. What do y'all think? Oh gosh. Okay, Steve. I will definitely get to my messages. People in the community are talking. Cantina, you live there? You live up in that same community? I did not know that the sheriff had offed himself months after they announced that they're re-examining, basically reopening the investigation. which I think is odd. What I also think is odd, and I didn't know this, and I just took clips from this article. This is from the Star. I want to try to give everybody credit from where I got this information from. He was like very trained and very educated. So you can see here, he actually between 1987 and 1994, he was a special agent for the Murder and Unsolved Crimes Unit of the SBI. He was considered an expert in criminology in North Carolina, Kentucky, and Florida. So it wasn't like he was just like, I hope I don't offend anybody. Some of these sheriffs in Mississippi that don't have a lick of nothing. And I'm about to get real real country, but like there's no reason that I mean, this is possibly one of the most educated and trained sheriffs I've ever seen. Besides Sheriff Seals. I think Sheriff Seals in was it Putnam County? I think he's actually also very educated and knowledgeable. But anyway, I was shocked to see that. I was not expecting that. Yeah. So he kills himself. Sorry, I'm gonna get banned over here on the Tiki Talk. Months after they say they're looking at the case again. Okay, so a year later, a year after he dies, May 31st of 2015. So in May of 2016 is when the FBI actually comes out and they I can't read my handwriting, y'all. Report that they suspect they report that the suspect vehicle that they believe is the 1970s model. Now, y'all know we still haven't gotten to the t-shirt and the book yet. Let me find these cars, guys. Okay. So May of 2016 is when the FBI comes out and they report that the suspect vehicle they believe is a 1970s-ish model green Lincoln Continental Mark IV or a Ford Thunderbird with rust around the wheel wells. Now, we have no clue where this information came from. We have no clue how long they were aware of it. If maybe it was missed initially, and when they were re-examining the information, they found it. And then so all they said in regards to announcing that they thought that the suspect drove this car was that it was discovered by legwork between the sheriff's office and the FBI. And that she may have been sighted getting into a dark green vehicle. And that was May of 2016. Over 2 years later, in October of 2018, that is when we learn about the Dr. Seuss book and the New Kids on the Block t-shirt. Like 18 and a half years later. So let's talk about those items. Those are, especially the t-shirt is an important item. Okay. So this is the book that was found in the book bag. And they do know that it was checked out from her school, but they don't have a record of who checked it out. I just found that so hard to believe because they've had these items since the book bag was found in 2001. They know it was checked out from the school, so I'm assuming it had a library card or what's it called? Can't even remember what it's called anymore. Y'all, how do I not know this? The little checkout thing. What's it called? Not a library card. Somebody tell me what it's called. No updates yet, Brittany. I was just like, checkout card. Okay, is that really what it's called, Emily? I was just last night I got super curious about photos. Return card. Thank y'all for the gifts over here on TikTok. Um, shouldn't they have known, Becky? What's that card called? Card catalog. No, it's not a not a card catalog. Is it? No, it's not a card catalog, I don't think. Becky, what's the thing called that goes in the book? Maybe, Jennifer, maybe so. Library card. It's not a library card. Hey, Shell. Oh, the book belonged to her classroom. Okay. I haven't read that. I just read that it was checked out from her school, but that they didn't have any record of who checked it out. But the classroom thing would make more sense. That would make a whole lot more sense. Because I was like, in 2000, you should be able to see who checked a book out. They've had those cards, and I mean, I don't even think they don't use those anymore. They use little barcodes, I think. But um, I mean, good lord, those things have been in books since no telling how long, decades and decades and decades. So the classroom book makes more sense. Yes. But also, it would narrow it down to just a very small amount of people if it was actually in her classroom. Yes, it's the card that you signed your name on in the book, Bobby. Yes, you're right. Oh gosh. Okay, so we learn about the book and we learn about the New Kids on the Block. Um, it's being called a t-shirt, but a lot of people have pointed out that it's actually like a nightgown, and I do believe it is. Like, I used to wear those when I was a little child. Heck, I probably had this exact one. Um, this was from obviously it was from their one of their tours, but it was sold at like big department store, like this I think like Kmart, Walmart, places like that carried this. So like you didn't have to go to the concert to get the shirt. But Aisha's mom, dad, they say it is not her shirt. So basically, they didn't know whose shirt it was. Um, so that those things were released in October of 2018. And law enforcement at the time said like 90% of what was found in the book bag was belonged to Aisha. And so at the time they said that, people really didn't know what exactly they meant by 90%, but this t-shirt didn't belong to her. So it was brought up. Now we know from the text messages that were released last week. Um, now we know that the Dedmon girls say that it wasn't their shirt either. So then speculation starts as to who owns the shirt. Who did the shirt belong to? And someone, I think, in maybe the group on Facebook mentioned that maybe it was somebody's at the sleepover and maybe she wore it that night, ended up coming home with it. Who knows? Who knows where it came from? Book pocket or circulation pocket. Okay. Okay. Y'all, my knowledge is just a book card. That's right. That's right. A book card. Yes. Wait, watch too much Dateline because all I thought was, or did he off himself? Maybe someone got rid of him. No, no, no. I know. And that's two. And I haven't talked about Russell Underhill yet. I'll get to him. But Russell Underhill, which we're going to get to him soon, but he actually passed away in 2004. And that's kind of a little bit of a strange situation, too. Um, No, Cherish, you're right. That's a very good point because like I just said, I probably had one too. I don't remember. So that's a very good point. It's possible that they just don't remember. I mean, I had New Kids on the Block stuff. Did I have this exact t-shirt nightgown? I don't know if I did or not. And I'm very close in age to Lizzie. Was she probably like 40 now? She was 16 in 2000, and no, we may be the same age. So that's a very good point, actually. Um, anyway, from the text messages, they don't think it's theirs, but I do believe that Aisha's mom would probably remember if it was hers or not. I don't know exactly when they checked for DNA. Um, I'm about to get to that part, but I don't know when that was done. So we know that at some point prior to September of 2024, they did do DNA on, I think, this item right here. And the DNA came back. Let me pull these other documents, y'all. These are really interesting. I don't think you're going to be able to read them because it's um so these are this is like the actual search. Is it the search warrant or is that just what they found? Inventory. So this is the inventory of the items seized. But talking about the shirt, so on that shirt was DNA of two people, and one of them was the guy I just mentioned, Russell Underhill, and I'll get to who he is in just a little bit. But the other DNA on the shirt belonged to the youngest Dedmons sister, who was 13 at the time that Aisha went missing. So the Dedmon family, this is the Dedmon family. This is Dad Roy. I think this is the youngest sister right here, Anna Lee. I think this one in the middle is Lizzie. I think this one is Sarah, and then that's mom, Connie. So the DNA matched this one right here, Anna Lee, the baby. She was 13 when Aisha went missing, and it matched a man named Russell Underhill. Russell Underhill was a patient who basically lived in the Dedmons nursing facility. And he passed away back in 2004. And I actually there's an article about him. Let me find it. I really may not have included it, but hang on just a minute. I can show you guys this for sure. Okay, let me share my screen really quickly. Okay. So this is an article about Roy Underhill and his autopsy. So he was actually found dead in where he was living. He was 54 years old. He died alone in his Lincolnton apartment on or shortly after Christmas Day in 2004. He was last seen on Christmas around 6 p.m. at his apartment, and he was found dead 2 days later, slumped over on his couch in his living room in a pair of burgundy shorts. Police did not find evidence of a homicide or unusual circumstances, but his cause of death was never determined. The report indicates he had coronary artery disease, but there was no indication of a heart attack, and states he had signs of older brain injuries. There were scars on his back that the report said a counselor attributed to his Vietnam War service. The report said he had several caregivers and counselors who checked up on him because of his past history with substance abuse. One caregiver reported that another client had threatened to off Russell Underhill in previous days. And basically, there's just like not a whole lot of information, but it does talk about in the bottom of this article how he knew the Dedmons. And documents state that he was living at their nursing care facility at the time that Asha went missing, and this was called the Cleveland Healthcare. Connie, Roy's wife, oversaw his medication. Roy was listed as his emergency contact, and prior to his death and after the clinic closed, he went and he lived at Northbrook Rest Home, which was also owned and operated by the Dedmons. So, yeah, if y'all want to go read this, it's in the Star. You can just search like Russell Underhill, the Star. It really doesn't have a whole lot of information. But it's reported that Roy would let the daughter, at least Lizzie, maybe the other one, Sarah, transport patients. Thank you. Thank you, Frankie. From Broughton Hospital to the Northbrook Rest Home, which is the home that they owned and operated. And from my understanding, that Broughton Hospital is like a mental facility. So if you want to read that article, you can. There's not a lot of information on it, but anyway, I don't know that Russell Underhill had anything to do with it. He may have been aware of something happening, but it's unclear, and we probably will never know. But when the attorney for the Dedmons, or for Roy Dedmon, did his press conference, let me find his photo because I've got his photo in here somewhere. I'm kind of getting out of order, y'all. It's so hard to see these little bitty photos. We'll get to the search. We're getting there, but I do want to just say, all right, so this is the attorney for Roy Dedmon. His name is David Teddy. Apparently his name used to be David Tiddy, but he changed it to Teddy. We don't know if it's because it was pronounced Teddy and he just wanted it to be spelled like it sounded, or not really sure. But David Teddy is an attorney with Teddy, Meekins, and Talbert, and they are criminal defense attorneys. Kind of weird. That is kind of weird. I agree, Maddie. Actually, yeah, there's no way in hell I would allow my child, even at 19. Yes, I do think that the DNA is probably just transfer from him being in the car. I don't know why I talk about the color of his shorts. I was just reading the article. I have no idea. Crazy. But anyway, so David is a he is a criminal defense attorney. Now, I want to talk about some rumor and speculation that's been mentioned in one of the Facebook groups. And I believe somebody said that there was a photo in an old yearbook of David and Roy together, like they're good buddies. Emily and I had a conversation about, whether this was odd or not that he was representing Roy if they were good friends back then. But honestly, like, this is a small town, a small area, and it's like I told Emily, I think that you in situations like this, you go to someone that you know, are comfortable with. Um, and he is a criminal defense attorney, so that is appropriate, but I don't think there's like, I mean, if David's comfortable with it, then that's on him. It's up to him. No, I don't blame him for changing that name either. Emily and I discussed this as well, and she was like, maybe it was pronounced Teddy, but it spelled titty, and so he just changed it. I don't know. And that may not be true. It may have always been David Teddy, and that's just rumor and speculation. But after the house was searched back in September, which again, I'm out of order and I haven't gotten to that. I'm fixing to go back to that. But he did do this press conference. And in the press conference, he basically said that we were going to find that the person responsible was already deceased. And so in that, it sounded like he was trying to pin this on Russell Underhill. Now, interesting to me, how would he know that? If Roy didn't have information, well, Morgan, um, you know, I don't know. That may be, I'm sure it's probably in, I don't know. No, you're not dumb. That's a good question, and I haven't seen an answer to that question. Morgan asked y'all need to come over here on YouTube, and it's better over here, y'all. Polly Pocket, I'm not sure her name and the phone number and possibly her address were on the backpack, and the parents confirmed the things inside. Like, I think they had already told law enforcement some things that were missing from her room, like when she disappeared, and some of those things. Hello, were in the backpack as well as her name. Y'all, my YouTube is linked to my profile here. Y'all come over here because I have pictures and it's a whole lot better. Trust me, it's a whole lot better. Yeah, I don't know. Emily, do ask, because yeah, I don't think anybody talked to him. My opinion, my speculation is that it's possible that he knows the whole truth, and they were trying to pin it on Russell. Heck, it's even possible, and this is my opinion, but it's even possible that they may have planted Russell's DNA there on purpose to pin it on him. I had not really thought about that until it just came to me, but that is also possible. You know? So it's possible that he knows the whole truth. It's possible that he doesn't. It's possible that he does not know the whole truth. And it's possible that Roy has told him some story that leads him to believe that Russell Underhill is responsible. But you don't just say, in my opinion, okay, Audra, thank you. That's so crazy. Was it pronounced Teddy? That's so strange. I mean, I don't blame him for changing it, but that's just really weird. Oh my gosh, y'all. American Airlines flight makes emergency return to Charlotte Airport. What the heck is going on? Y'all come follow me on YouTube. Y'all, I have 109 of y'all here, and I've got 78 of y'all over here. Y'all are missing my whole presentation over here. Thank y'all for the gifts too, if you sent gifts. But seriously, come on YouTube. It's so much better. You can see all my pictures and everything. Oh. So like genetic genealogy. Wow. I was a juvenile probation officer for 20 years. Yeah. The Facebook group is let me see. I don't know if I can get on Facebook here on my iPad because I logged out. And I don't know what my password is to log in. Emily, tell us what thank you, Emily. Hey, AJ. We're talking about Asha Degree, but I'm actually over on YouTube. So if you'll click out of my live and just go to my page up in my profile, there's a link to my YouTube account. And go watch it over there because I have like a whole like slideshow. Let me show you. Shoot. I'm gonna have to get a bigger desk, y'all. Or I'm gonna have to like mount that monitor up on an arm thing. Let me show you what it looks like over on YouTube. Oops. So like I have pictures and everything over there. So y'all come over here. No, I think you're right, Emily. I think it is Asha Degree missing 25 years because I think they just recently changed it to missing 25 years. No, I'm in Mississippi. I covered this back in September when and y'all, if y'all haven't subscribed, also please just hit the subscribe button. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything. And then when all this came out, when the text messages came out last week, I was like, holy crap, like that's crazy. So I have just kind of been doing like a super deep dive into it because I really do want to get into longer form content. It's so much work. Long form content is no freaking joke. But I've really just been diving into this, and there were little bits and pieces kind of everywhere, but I couldn't find like one source that had everything. And then when I started digging for pictures last night and I found that Oddstops website. Have you seen that, Audra? The oddstops.com website? That's where I got a lot of these photos from. I just got really curious, like what her house looked like and what the area looked like. And so I tried to look on Google Earth and that didn't help me. And so then I just started looking up pictures and I found this website. It's kind of cool. It's got a lot of like other stuff, other cases on there as well. Okay. Thank you, Frankie. I'm Catherine. I did cover when that happened. I did cover some of it. Probably will. The next, I'm also covering the elderly lady from Arkansas that's missing. I have so many others that have been requested that I've got to get to, but it's hard because I also work full time. Probably the next big thing I'm going to cover, if it ends up and does actually go to trial, is the dad, Aaron Spencer from Arkansas. April, so chaos divers did come. They searched one area today, but I can't remember what it was. And Is this not on? Y'all, I think I plugged up the wrong thing. Hold on. I thought I had my microphone on the whole time. I got the wrong one plugged up over here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm fixing to get back to my story. Anyway, I cannot believe I did that. I'm an idiot. I may not be able to. May interfere with my other microphone. Does that sound okay? Am I okay? Do I sound okay over here still? I'm such an idiot. A girl missing in floating phone. Elle message me? Okay. Okay. I'm so dumb. I had both whatever this one's called that's actually the mic part. I didn't even have the receiver plugged in anyway. Whatever. Shoot. Such an idiot. Hey Megan. Oh yeah, just message me, Elle. Just message me. Okay. So let me get back to okay, great. I'm so glad. I have a microphone, like one of the arm ones, but it didn't have a plug for my headphones, which fortunately I had this one from podcasting I'm planning to do at some point, but anyhow. All right. So apparently, y'all, it sounds like if y'all would like to come over here to YouTube, I'm on YouTube showing photos. My YouTube is linked in my profile here on TikTok. So y'all can see the photos. Come on over. I can't see you on iTunes. I don't have a podcast yet, Rhonda. If that's what you're talking about. Not yet. That's the plan, but I'm not there yet. Baby steps. Okay, so for those of y'all who can't, yes, get over here. Get over here. It's so much better. It sounds like from what some others have said, you can't see me on YouTube. Huh. Rhonda. Can y'all see me over here on YouTube? Rhonda says she can't see me. Rhonda, I'm not sure. That's kind of strange. You're here, you're in the chat. I'm not sure. I don't even know what to tell you. I can Google it after I get done. Okay, so apparently, y'all, for those of y'all who are not joining me over here, there's still 100 of y'all over here in this one. Apparently, her sister did a 23andMe. And so I guess they just ran the DNA through the let's see, I can do this. Okay. I guess they just ran the DNA through the database and it was a match. And so at that point, that's when they got the search warrant on the house at 621 Cherryville Road. And that happened they served that warrant on September the 10th. So let me show y'all. Let me find those pictures. That's a current photo, or that's a photo of Roy on the day that the search warrant was served, y'all. In case anybody wanted to see what he looks like. He looks good for 80 years old. I don't know how. I mean. Oh, thanks, Jennifer. I have a sign that I got to get hung up and all, but I watched a whole lot of videos on lighting and everything. I think I need one more over here, but anyway, like I said, baby steps. He's 80. Mm-hmm. Isn't that crazy? He literally does not look 80. He might pass for 70, but I think he looks like he's in his 60s. Oh gosh, Emily, thank you. There's a lot I've still got to do, but it's okay. I'm gonna chill for a little bit. All right, so this is the house, 621 Cherryville Road. Apparently Roy and his wife live separately, but they're still married. There's been a lot of speculation as to why that is. Some people have said that possibly they're still married, so she won't have to testify against him, which is very true and a very interesting point. When this search warrant was served, is this? Yes, Jennifer. Yes. Uh huh. Yes. When was she born? In 1990. August 5th, 1990. Yes, it should be 35 this year. Isn't that crazy? So this is the house that they searched on September the 10th and 11th, 2024. Roy does not live there, but another man was living there. Roy still owns the house. Isn't it crazy? Like, I have been working on this. Not like I just got like my room ready, but I've been watching videos on going live and using like I'm using StreamYard, just like a third party, something that allows me to do all this and show all these things. I can also stream to other platforms at the same time. I can have guests on. It's kind of nice. Thanks so much. Y'all are so nice. Y'all are so kind. I appreciate that. I worked really hard and I don't know what I'm doing. So, like, I literally have been watching YouTube videos to figure it out. Thank you, Elle. I will check on it. Hey, Jim. I feel like kind of crazy with the headphones and the whole 9 yards, but like I get it. Like I need them, but it's just different. Thanks, Frankie. I know it. I think so. I just think I like it better just because you can do so much more over here. So I'm really probably going to start going live. I'm doing good, Jim. I'm on live on YouTube really for the first time. I actually did go live on YouTube when TikTok was down for those few hours, but I didn't like talk about a case. I just chatted. Thank y'all. Y'all are so nice. Y'all are making me feel so good because I was very stressed and worried about it. Yes, he's 80. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I don't know where Roy was living or is living, but he does not live with Connie, but they are still married. I think one of the daughters still lives in Shelby, another one lives in North Carolina, and then Lizzie lives in Texas. So they served this warrant, and let me show y'all. All right, so here's just some pictures. I'm going to make myself small again, guys, so y'all can see the pictures. So here's just some photos of when they were searching the property at 621 Cherryville Road. And I was going to show you guys. Let me pull this up really quick. Let's see. We're going to do 621 Cherryville Road. And then I was going to do was it 3404 Oakcrest? Okay, now let me move this over to this other screen. Okay, let's see, guys. Now I'm going to share my screen again. Okay. That's not the right one. Hang on, guys. Stop screen. Okay. Share screen. Okay, so this actually is the this point B 3404 Oakcrest. That is Asha's address. Let me try to zoom out a little bit. Well, that's too far. So point B is Asha's house, and then down here, point A, that is the house that was searched. And so, like, if I hit get directions, it's like 6 or 7 miles. Okay, no, 4. It's 4. It's 4 miles. 4 miles. Isn't that crazy? So let me zoom in just a little bit. All right, so here's the crazy thing. Like, y'all see 180 right there where I'm going up, that blue, the long blue, and that's 180. And then right here is that intersection with 18, which is kind of like the last place she was seen. And so from that intersection, I mean, that's about half the distance between her house and this property that was searched. So very, very close in proximity. That's crazy. Come on. Why will my mouse not come back over here to my computer screen? There we go. Okay. So they searched this house on September 10th and 11th. And the person that lives there is not Roy, but it is. And these are just some pictures from the property, guys. There's the car. We'll get back to that in a minute. The man that lived there was, and this is another crazy, crazy thing. This is September 10th, 2024, y'all. Jeffrey something Spencer. And he had lived at this residence for about 5 years. And he stated that there were 3 rooms that were padlocked and that have remained locked since he moved into the residence. He stated that Roy advised that his personal property was in those locked rooms. Also on September the 10th, Laura Dedmon. Y'all, I don't know who that is. Do y'all know who Laura Dedmon is? Thank you, Denise. Yes, Aisha's parents are still alive. Who is Laura Dedmon? This right here is the first time I've seen that name. Thanks for the follow, Johnny. Thanks for the share. Sky's the limit. Y'all come follow me over here on YouTube. It's better over here. It's linked in my profile here on TikTok, so you can just click it. It'll bring you right to it. Thank you, Emily. So, Laura Dedmon. I'm gonna have to get some better seers. Stated that several years ago she saw Roy. Hang on, let me take myself off the screen. Several years ago, she saw Roy digging a chest-deep hole on the property of 601 I've got 621. Maybe it's 601. Cherryville Road. On September the 11th, 2024, the investigator observed a 6 to 8 inch dent in the ground where it was obvious that the ground had been disturbed on the property of 601 Cherryville Road. Okay, I had the address wrong, guys. It's 601. So we'll look at that on the map again in just a minute. The investigator observed this during his voluntary contact with the current resident, Jeffrey Blease Spencer. Based upon the applicant's training and experience, the applicant knows when a crime occurs, there is often a transfer of physical evidence. The transfer of evidence may occur between the victim and the crime scene, the suspect and the crime scene, and or between the crime scene, the victim, and the suspect. It may also occur in vehicles or modes of transportation used by the suspect to flee a crime scene after a commission of a violent crime. It is a well-known fact that people in general keep personal effects, i.e. clothing, newspaper clippings, VHS, CDs, DVDs, memorabilia, photographs, childhood possessions, and such at their regular place of domicile. It is probable and likely Sarah Gwen Dedmon Capel removed personal effects and or evidence pertaining to thee, and then it cuts off, and I don't know what the rest of it says. I'll try to find the rest of this, but this is all that was on the they are the Dedmons, a large property with several buildings. Yes, Morgan. Uh-huh. Okay, but hold on. All right, so Jeffrey, what's his name? Jeffrey Spencer. Y'all, you cannot make this up. So he talks to law enforcement on September 10th and 11th and says, yeah, I've lived here for 5 years. He's got 3 rooms padlocked. Says his personal property's in these rooms. Guess what happens? Let me find. Oh, wait, there's the rest of that document, I think. I'll have to get through all that. I'll probably come back tomorrow night and do another live. Look at this. Look at this, y'all. Jeffrey Blease Spencer. He died at his house at 601 Cherryville Road on October the 19th, a month later. Isn't that crazy? Hey, M. Marie. Thanks for the share, Jim. Thanks, Donna. Y'all are so nice. I don't deserve y'all. Isn't that crazy? I was like, I told y'all it's a whole lot, and I probably am just scraping the surface, honestly. And this is just what we know. Think about what all we don't know. We probably don't know 90% of it. I don't know. I think it was another one of those like unknown something. I saw this over in the Facebook group. So y'all go join the Facebook group because they do have a good bit of information. The Facebook group, Reddit. Oh, he had cancer. Okay. Well, kind of strange though. Maybe he did. So weird. All these people just. So, all right, September 10th and 11th, search warrant was served. Yes, a month after he spoke out. Yeah. And they find, they see that depression in the ground that looks like a hole had been there, and they find this green car. This green car right here. That is, I think, a 1964 Rambler. And as you can see right here, it looks like there is, who is it, Emily? Wait, I think I can check my messages on my iPad. Hang on. Laura Dedmon, president of AV Dedmon Trucking, joined her father Charles in the business. In 2000, she joined him. Huh. I don't know. I wonder who she is. So this is the car that was found on the property, and it's reported, I think Sarah, who's the middle Dedmon sister, reported that this car was the car that their dad let them drive when they were teenagers. But as you can see right here, it looks like there's some damage. Thank you, Victoria. I appreciate that. Thank y'all for the share. But y'all need to come over on YouTube. Everybody over here on YouTube is really bragging about it. Living with KMB on YouTube. If you'll click out of my live and you go to my TikTok profile, my YouTube link is there. You can click it. It'll bring you right to it. Ocean Wayne Hutchings. Y'all come to YouTube. It's better. I promise. I have pictures and everything over here. She's Roy's niece. Okay. Interesting. Huh. So she's first cousins with Lizzie and Sarah and Annalie. Wonder why she was questioned. I don't know, Denise. Yeah, they must be. They must be brothers. Yeah, that's so true, Allison. So they find this car. There's one. There is one picture of it. And this is just creepy. I don't know. Like, it's just creepy. And there's another photo of the green car. So there's no, I don't really see any rust, but I do wonder if like this paint discoloration, if people just mistake that for, or mistook that for rust, or maybe there is rust on the opposite side, or if that's just an oversight, you know. Can you zoom out of the pictures a little bit? Like that? Is that better? Hey, Miranda. Y'all come over on YouTube. Okay. So sorry, y'all. I'm learning. Okay, I will remember that. And I did make them bigger. Like, I try to fill up the whole Google slide screen, so I won't do that. Huh. I don't know. Emily, do you have it turned horizontally? Here, let me try this. Is that better? Or no, not that. That's two people. That. Okay. Yes. Yep. Let's see. Where is that picture? Hold up. Let me go back to it. Yeah, like you can see just like that front, like, I don't know, just that front headlight kind of like into the side. Oh, wow, Rhonda. Rhonda over here says she lived and worked a block from the Dedmons. So they take away this car. And then a week later, on September the 18th, is when that acquaintance from the acquaintance of the girls from like when they were teens comes forward to law enforcement and says, hey, I was at a party in the 2000s. I think I read it was actually 2009. I think I read that in the Facebook group. I'm going to make a note of that so I don't forget. And says that the oldest Dedmon sister, Lizzie, this one right here, that she was drunk at a party, that this guy was at this party. Lizzie and Sarah were there, and that she was drunk and that she started bawling her eyes out and saying that she killed Asha Degree. And Sarah, the middle sister, hears her. So Lizzie, at the time that Asha went missing, was 16 and Sarah was 15. And that Sarah tells her to shut the F up when Sarah hears her say that. So that acquaintance that goes to law enforcement, why, after almost 25 years, do you come forward and think, I might need to let somebody know this? I don't know why it took that long, but it did. So the acquaintance takes a polygraph and passes that polygraph. I don't think the car was buried. There were some other pictures that I saw. I'll try to grab them. Hang on, let me see. I don't think well, you can see kind of in this picture right here. Let's see. So the car was not buried. It was just like on the property. Can you see that okay in that picture, CMP? So the acquaintance takes the polygraph and passes the polygraph. On September the 27th, agents go to the school where Lizzie worked in Texas, and she agrees to talk with them. Maddie, the hole that they think that he dug, or that the niece said that he dug. I'm sure they did. I'm sure they tore that property up. Now, am I 100% sure? No, but I feel like they probably definitely did. I'm going to go through and read all of this. That it's like an inventory of the evidence, and I haven't read all of it because I fell asleep while I was reading it last night. I was tired. And I'll look and see what it says. But so they go to Lizzie's school on September the 27th, and she agrees to talk. And then I think that's the point where she makes a phone call to her ex-husband, and then she changes her mind. So then law enforcement, they go to the ex-husband's house, and although they saw like a little girl looking through the window, nobody would come to the door. So the ex-husband's not talking either. Now, just completely transparent here, I don't think the ex-husband was involved, but it's clear he has knowledge of whatever this is they're texting about. Now, I don't know exactly what it is, but anyway, I think after this search warrant was issued back in September, Roy and Connie were actually named suspects. The girls, as of now, I don't think they have been, but it's just I think a lot's going to be happening soon. So then I think on February the 10th of this year, they asked her to do another interview, and I think she agrees, and then she changes her mind again. But at some point this year, she does go and she takes a polygraph, and deception was noted when she was asked if she had concealed anything or had knowledge of something being concealed. I can't remember exactly how it was worded. I'll have to find it. I was like that was like one of the last notes I was taking at like 7:50 when I was wanting to go live at 7 p.m. tonight. But it was something to do about concealing something, and she said no, she didn't have any knowledge, and deception was picked up when she answered that she did not have any knowledge of anything being concealed. So then so after that search, that's when the lawyer, David Teddy, does that press conference and basically insinuates, in my opinion, that I think that Russell Underhill was responsible for it all. And then the text messages come out. And I know I've already shared those, so I'm not going to go back through them, but I'm going to just throw them up on the screen. Somebody in my comments on another video, oh, Bree, if you'll click out of this live and go to my profile here on TikTok, it's linked. My YouTube is linked there. Hey, 11th hour Grace. And then you can see like what I'm showing on the screen. Thanks. Good job. Good job, team. Okay. So somebody in the comments was like, she didn't confess to anything. And I mean, no, she didn't confess to anything, but she also did say, I caused this. Let's see. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I don't know if y'all can, how well y'all can see that, but yeah, I mean, I did look him up because I was just curious, Rhonda, what kind of law he practiced. And I mean, I do see he is a criminal defense attorney. And so, yeah. Let me pull these text messages up really quick on my iPad so I can see them. My eyes, y'all, I'm gonna have to get me some reading glasses. Do I have them on my iPad? I may not. Oh, Emily, I see what you're talking about now that I look at it over here. That's so crazy. I wish y'all could see how it looks on my screen. Wait, never mind. It looked better the other way. There's a little bit of black. Love your life, Morgan. Yes, we did, but we were under the impression that that was the niece of Roy. But you're saying that was the sister? Hold up. Love your life, Morgan. The what was that woman's name again? She passed away? What was her name? Okay, I missed that somewhere. What? Y'all, no way. Laura? Yeah, Laura passed away too? Who's Asha's stepdad? I'm not aware of a stepdad. It looks that way, Cherish. So Laura passed away too? I need to look for an obituary for Laura. I missed that. I didn't see that anywhere. Hey Adele, thank you for the gift. Laura is not dead. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Emily, Tracy says no, she's not. Laura's mom died. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. So let me go back to these text messages. I'm not going to go through all of them. I just wanted to hit like a few. I'm lagging over here. So, just where it says like, I don't know what to do. I caused this. I mean, I guess that could mean a lot of things, but my mind doesn't go anywhere positive. And then her sister says that it's not your fault. So I don't know. The comments are very confusing to me. It's clear, in my opinion, it is clear that they have a lot of knowledge. It's not clear, in my opinion, who the responsible person is. But I will say this, and I thought this was a very interesting point. Don't know if it's true or not, but someone in the Facebook group said that David is the attorney for Roy. But not for the girls. And they said that the girls did not have attorneys, but now there has been conversation, even in these text messages. I think it was Annalee. It was either Annalee or Sarah saying that they had talked to the lawyer. But somebody made the comment that like Roy is the one with the lawyer, and they thought that that was kind of like an admission of guilt because he's the one with like the criminal defense lawyer. And that was just some speculation over on Facebook. Let me make that clear. I thought that was kind of interesting, but clearly they're all having conversations with an attorney. I don't know if they're all having conversations with David Teddy, but anyway, whose fault is it? I don't know. Marjorie, what do you think? I don't know. I don't know what to think because part of these texts are like, it sounds like Lizzie is saying it's her fault because she says, I caused this. But then other texts are like, basically, where does it say? There was something about the dad. And I may not have included, I think there's some text I left out. But there was some conversation about, well, like them saying dad is probably going to be a huge suspect. And then there's some conversation about we should have let Lizzie do what you wanted to do a long time ago. And then they talk about doing what dad wants to do. So there's some just really strange communication. Jennifer, yeah, and I personally think that David is like representing the family. But like I said, that was just a comment over on Facebook saying like, Roy's the one with the lawyer, not anybody else. I agree completely, Latresa. That's exactly my opinion. It's very, very strange. And now I will say several people have commented. I think my phone died. Oh, well. Let me see if I can get my phone charged back up because I just completely went off of died over on TikTok. Okay. Huh. Wonder if she worked for the towing company that towed the green car off. What was I saying, y'all? I can't remember what I was saying. But I lost my train of thought. I'm so ADHD. Maybe I'll think about it. Oh, there's the rest of the text messages right there. All right. So some people had talked about some of Lizzie's tweets. Let me get back on TikTok over here, guys. Oh, she doesn't work at a towing company.
Let's do some key learning.
Hold on, guys. Let me get back over here on this live. These are some tweets from Lizzie from like, it's very hard for me to see these dates, like 2013. Let's see. Yeah, January 18th, 2013, Sanity Kill, So I Live the Crazy Life. And then there was one other one over here from November the 19th of 2012 where she says, wishing I could live backwards. There wasn't a whole lot more interesting. I mean, that was really kind of it. Wasn't really much more than that. But I thought some of them were interesting. Okay, this is interesting. So this is an article from, I think this is from like 1970, y'all. And this is where they interview Roy Dedmon about this school that he's opened. And it talks about, I don't know, it's really strange. They only have a handful of students. I think they only had 2 teachers. The kids went to school from like 8 to noon. But then he says right here, and I've got it highlighted, that he refused to comment directly on the school's rigid policy of segregation. So some people posted that because it shows, I mean, obviously that shows racism right there, which is, anyway, because, you know, some people have mentioned they thought that this could be a hate crime. I know when I go live. Okay. So, yep. Which I thought was very interesting. I did not know this until tonight, until I was looking for information about it. It's just, just super strange. 1970. I mean, 1970. So weird. I don't know when my parents graduated from high school. Let's see. So I think my dad probably graduated from high school in like 74. I don't know. This is just really strange to me because I just didn't grow up with parents like that. So it's just shocking. I mean, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be shocking at all because we still deal with this today. But it's weird. Like I guess I'm not using the right word. Not really weird. It's just it's ick. It's just ick. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I shouldn't say I'm surprised. That's not what I mean. I guess I just mean it's ick. It's just disgusting, honestly. So, and it's 1970 and you're still trying to segregate. And from my understanding, Lizzie's ex-husband is a black man, which is nothing wrong with that at all. It's just the irony of the dad here segregating and all right, more on Roy. So Roy was charged, I think, with animal cruelty. Can y'all see this okay? Yeah, Lizzie was a teacher. Yeah. Until apparently the FBI came in and escorted her out. Hey guys, if y'all want to join me on YouTube, it's linked in my profile on TikTok. Um Leslie, it's not surprising. I guess I shouldn't really say surprising. It is odd for 1970 for sure. But not surprising and not weird. I was using the wrong words. Just gross is really what I should have just said. Um Yeah, I know they're terrible. These pictures are. So apparently Roy was charged with animal cruelty, and these are some of the pictures of the horses. I don't know exactly when this was, so I can't say, but I think the charges ended up being dropped. So that may speak to something, my opinion. Yeah, I think she does have children, but I don't know how many. And I couldn't tell, like, does she have like, was there like his and ours, or I couldn't really tell. Do the sisters have children? I'm not really sure, Marjorie. Yes, Latresa. Definitely bad vibes. Isn't that horrible? Look at that. I mean, they're all terrible. This one, like, you want to piss me off real quick and in a hurry? Mistreated an animal or a kid. Like, this is horrible. And then apparently, um, one of their, I think this is one. Hang on, let me make this bigger so I can see. I still can't see. I think this is one of their nursing facility things that was that caught on fire. And I don't know if it was ever determined the cause of the fire or not, but these are just interesting things that people are pulling from the internet. Who is Elise? I'm not sure who Elise is. Hey, Princess Bella, 18. Thank you, non-nurse. Um, yeah, I cannot imagine. Yes, definitely, Morgan. I agree with that. Okay, Emily, thank you. All right, that's the last slide. Let me go back and see if I missed any slides. I'll read that and I'll come back like tomorrow night to talk about that. So, of note is that since these new developments have happened last week, we have not heard from Mr. David Teddy. Oh, probably. Well, Latricia. Let's see. How do I say? Probably shouldn't say probably if I publish this. Um, I don't know. I guess my opinion is anything's possible. They also changed the name. Yep, they changed the name. Uh-huh. Yes, that's right. Love Your Life, Morgan. That's exactly right. And I have that in here somewhere. I don't know that I actually added the slide, but I did read that. Um, maybe I did not add it. Let me see if I have it on my iPad over here. Yep, right here. I've got it. So this says controversial rest home reopens under new name, and this is dated November the 11th, 1995. This article was updated on January the 25th, 2015, which is interesting. I don't have the whole thing. I just screenshot a little bit of it, but it just says after 7 months, the rest home where a patient wandered away and froze to death has reopened under new management. The Whispering Pines Rest Home was closed by state officials in March, and 19 residents were moved to rest homes around the state. It is now reopened under the name Cleveland Health Care Center. The new administrator, Roy Lee Dedmons, said he hopes it will soon be full again. So I did not download the whole article. I just screenshot that part. So your daughter. Is that the name of like a YouTube video or? Hey, SJ. Thank you for the gifts. Anyway, I'm hoping that denying exemption to private schools that were segregated by race. The IRS. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I bet you're right, Leslie. But anyway, I think that's all I have tonight. Yeah, Latrice said there's a lot of people I would like to hear from, honestly. Yes. Love Your Life, Morgan. I agree with you on that. It is it is scary, and we still see it all the time. Even still see it with crimes that are committed now. We still see things get covered up all the time. Amber, I did mention Miss Belva. There's not any new information. Chaos Divers did come and they dove an area today. I can't remember exactly where it was. They did find a car. They sent a diver down, but it was not her car. It was a red car. But that's the only information I have. No information. Anyway, all right, guys. It's 10:15, and I literally came home from work. I threw my pajama pants on, and that's it. and I've been here since then. So I'm going to hop off. Thank y'all for being so kind and nice. And yes, I shared that. Let's see. Let me pull that picture up really quick that she's talking about. I just can't imagine. Like, I have like such a huge conscience. There's the picture that you're talking about. Right there, if you can see that better. Thanks, Leslie. I'm glad you did too. I just have like, I don't know, I just can't like I got asked something the other day at work. I'm not gonna go into detail. It was not about a patient. I will say it was not about a patient. And I was like, yeah, I've done that. And it was absolutely not patient related, so do not think anything, and it wasn't anything bad. It was just like, have you done this? And I'm like, well, yeah, I have. And she was like, well, I knew you wouldn't lie to me. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. So I cannot imagine like living with something like this. Cannot imagine. I'm the type of person that like I have to clear my conscience like immediately. Blaze, I hadn't looked at it yet. I did see where somebody had shared it, but I haven't looked at it. Or not Blaze. Love Your Life Morgan. Sorry, I caught the wrong one. I haven't looked at it yet. She was a baby. She was a baby. Yeah. Cantina, why do you think she left her house? Just out of curiosity. Guys, if y'all want to join me over on YouTube, I'm over on YouTube. I think she must have left the chat. I did think maybe they discussed something during the sleepover. They said she had never done it before, but yes, I'm fixing to go. Thank you, Chihuahua Mom. Thank you so much. All right, I'm hopping off. I will be back. Oh, tomorrow night I'm going live with Texas Dad Lawyer, y'all, but we'll probably be on the TikTok tomorrow night. Unless I can talk him into coming over on YouTube. But either way, I'll be live on both. Like if we do go live on YouTube, then I'll be sure to let you guys know over here on TikTok too. I'm not sure what time, so I'll try to post a video or a live event on my TikTok tomorrow. All right. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Container. That's a very good point. The more I find out things, the more I think along what you're thinking. For sure. The cults. Chihuahua Mom, yes. But if you'll click on my TikTok profile, it's linked up there at the top in my profile. You can just click the link. It'll take you right to it. Y'all be sure and subscribe, please, before y'all leave. It's free. Somebody was so worried one time that it was going to cost them money. It's free. Just hit the subscribe button. She left from her house, Blaze. All right, I'm hopping off. If y'all did not catch the whole thing and you want to watch it, I am going to publish it. So it will be, you can watch it anytime. I'm going to have to probably put a disclaimer on there. But anyway. All right. Good night.